So I see a post by a dude named J Smooth Barrett on Facebook that was very, very interesting to me, right? Very, very interesting. And it says, why don't Jews act as oppressed as black people? And then he has this top five list, right? He says, number one, Jews receive Israel. Number two, Germany paid $33 billion in reparations. Number three, Holocaust survivors get $300 annually. Number four, U.S. gave $12 million in reparations to Holocaust survivors in 2015. And number five, U.S. agreed to give Israel over $38 billion in 2016 over a 10-year period. Okay, so that sounds like a lot of money, right? Right? Giving it to all those different people. But what is not mentioned in this is the unity amongst the Jewish community for what happened to them. I believe the Jewish community has the same ideals in life that they're going to work together to make their race or make their religion or make their circle the strongest in the whole world. Now, when we look at black people say like, oh, you know what I mean? Oh, black people ain't got reparations. Black people ain't got this. Nobody did this. And I think that's the problem is black people are sitting around waiting for somebody to give them something. The same system that created systemic racism for you, the same system that has mass incarceration. That's what black people are saying. Like the government is doing these things to hold black people back. So it's like they're causing systemic racism. The government they're causing mass incarceration. It's killing black people in the street. You got the wealth gap and all that shit. You got gentrification and all that type of stuff, right? So they saying that the federal government is doing that to black people to hold them back. So my thing is, why are black people waiting for those people to help them? That sounds crazy as hell to me. So you waiting for those people who are putting you in these situations and these fucked up situations in your life. You're waiting for them to give you reparations. You waiting for those people to be able to give you money in order to better your life or give you opportunities to be able to better your life. That's what you're waiting for. That is not logical. That is like borderline retarded to me to sit there and wait for those people. Now, I have a solution, right? And when I discuss these topics and things like this, I look at solutions. I look at the problem, and then I look at, okay, how can I create a solution that's going to be able to heal the situation? And this is my solution. My solution is self accountability and a high level of respect for the black culture. And what I mean by that is this: you heard all those numbers, right? $33 billion in reparations, Holocaust survivors getting $300 annually, 12 million in reparations to Holocaust survivors in 2015. Like you heard all that. This is my solution. And I'm just gonna go in one sector, right? We look at sports. We look at the major sports, right? We look at Major League Baseball, we look at the NBA, and we look at the NFL. Now, every year, people get signed to the NFL. People get signed to Major League Baseball. People get signed. People get a check from white people. People get checked from those corporations and everything. Now, I feel like if somebody gets a $10 million contract, then they need to pay 10% to the community, $100,000. Now, just imagine every black athlete in the NFL paid 10% of their annual wages and put it into a pile. Every black athlete. That's over like 33 billion right there. And that's just one sector of sports. So if you do that for Major League Baseball, if you did that for the NBA, and you did that for the NFL, you would easily have over $100 billion for the black community to be able to depend on themselves. Because the thing is with those corporations, the Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, they use those black athletes in order to make money. It's like they're paying them high contracts, but they're they're getting their worth out of them, right? They're getting like merchandising out of them, like the jerseys, hats, different things like that. So they're making their money back. So just imagine if they gave 10%, right? Let's go to church, man. 10% tithes, right? 10% back to the black community, and that's just in sports, right? That's over $100 billion right there. If you took every single black athlete and just, I don't care how much he made. If he made $100,000 a year, just give 10,000. If he made $1 million that year, give 100,000, right? And then to go a step further, what you could do is let's go into entertainment. Let's go into hip hop. Let's go into rock and roll. Let's go into to the arts and everything like that. Look at all the black people who make money in being entertainers in the United States. Imagine if you take 10% of that earning and put it in a big pot for black people. That's another $100 billion. Easy. You see what I'm saying? I feel like there has to be a point where black people cannot be constantly waiting on white people to be able to give them something. Because the thing is that you're asking for some shit that your ancestors should get. See, your ancestors were the slaves. Your ancestors are the one that deserve the reparations, but your ancestors are not here. So you can't wait on, and I think that's the reason why America is not going to give them reparations like that anyway, is because of whatever reason that they got. They'd be like, man, you wasn't no slave. How do we need to give you this money? Or they may have another reason why they're there. So why is black people sitting around waiting for a check from these white people that is constantly showing them that they don't give a fuck about them? That shit don't make any sense to be waiting for a check for somebody who don't care about you. Like, you know they don't care about you. Like, you say it out your mouth, like the government don't care about black people. The government created a system to keep black people down or whatever like that. So you know this consciously. So why the fuck are you waiting for them? I think that's like stupid to do that. I think what you do is like you go to the athletes that you're making rich. All the black people who are investing their money into these athletes getting paid, you go to them and you hold them accountable to get your 10% and put it back in the black community. That's how you solve that fucking problem. That's how you solve it. If you did that, and you just did that in entertainment, and you did that in the major sports teams in America, you'll easily probably have at least $400 billion for black people. And then another thing on top of that is what black people should start doing on the other side of it, and it's the other part of my solution to put the glue to it, is to be able to take their money, right, and invest it in other black-owned businesses. Instead of taking money and investing into Louis Vuitton and buying Louis Vuitton shit, instead of like making all these companies even more richer, who is involved in the hypocrisy of being able to keep the the black culture down or whatever like that. Invest money into your own people, because that's what the Jewish people do. They just didn't get this money and that was just it. And they just spend it frivolously on shit. They probably got that money and they invested it into their own people. They unified with their own people and kept that money circulating in their own culture. And it's just something that you should be able to look at and learn from them and what they did, because I feel like it's not that difficult. The only difficult thing is being able to change the minds of black people to be able to have unity and be able to really, really look after each other and really, really support each other instead of talking that shit, instead of talking about it. Like how they said, put your money where your mouth is. And I think people in the black community should start holding these dudes accountable and holding these women accountable that they're making rich, you know what I'm saying, by spending their last dollars on show money and on movies and all that shit. Look at the movie stars. Look at all the top movie stars, black movie stars. If they gave 10%, you know what I mean? You got some people getting $10, $15 million, you know what I'm saying, per movie. But what's wrong with giving 1.5 million to the black culture? Like, you came from that culture. A lot of these black people and stuff who was able to raise themselves out of the ghetto, you know what I'm saying, came from the ghetto and shit. So they got the strength in mind. They got certain things from the ghetto that made them be able to survive in these markets and everything like that. I feel like you should be able to give back to the less unfortunate where you came from. Fuck all the turkey drives and building the barbershops. No, and that shit needs to go in one big ass spot. So black people can have their own banks, they can have their own schools, they can have their own hospitals, they can have their own legal services and stuff. When somebody go to jail or whatever, they could be able to get them out. The same way black people start complaining when the Proud Boys get one of these white supremacist dudes out, right? You can't get mad because the Proud Boys or whoever go get one of their people out of jail. Black people should be able to have the same thing. If they being wrongly arrested or whatever it may be, they should be able to call somebody or have somebody they can call, be like, come get me, man. You understand what I'm saying? So that's my Sunday sermon for this morning at 4:48 a.m. I had that on my heart when I was able to see this and everything like that. So y'all continue to enjoy y'all day, and